Welcome to Film Strip Sessions. I'm Jay.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Ron.
And I'm Matt.
And we are the podcast that tries to keep the Christmas spirit alive one day a year, and this is that day. Shout out to our friends at Tis the Podcast who manage to keep that going year round, except when they're doing spooky stuff, which is always fun. But first off, Matt, welcome back to Film Strip Sessions, man.
It's good to be here. Have I been on a sessions? I guess I have. Either way, I'm always happy to be on film strips. So yeah.
Thanks so much. We had so much fun at our November sessions talking Thanksgiving and movie and food pairings. We decided, hey, we need to do one for the Christmas season too, and just each of us kind of take a corner of the Christmas entertainment genres and talk about them, banter them about with each other, and definitely had to have on our favorite Santa Claus for that.
Yes, yes, thank you.
That is what we do. So, Ron, I'm going to kick this one to you first, my friend, because you admitted this to Lindsay and I recently, and we've known you for years and did not know this, that you are a champion of the Hallmark Christmas movie. So please do tell.
Now, you keep saying admitted like it's a secret I've held within myself. That's not the case. I've been openly a fan of these movies for years. I really love the formulaic pablum of the Hallmark Christmas movie. I love the fact that there's always going to be snow. I love the fact that they're always going to be wearing a red and a green sweater on the cover. I enjoy the predictability of the stories because while they do follow a very similar arc, a certain Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, if you will, and you won't because that's really gilding the lily for these.
Wow.
But, yeah. Jay, if you would read The Power of Myth, you would understand the fact that Lacey Chabert has to go save the Christmas tree farm by winning the cocoa competition.
I was going to say, I want to take a shot at the JPT formula of a Hallmark movie. All right. So it's Candace Cameron Bure, Lacey Chabert, Danica McKellar, or before she went to jail, Aunt Becky is the big city successful person who has this somewhat douchey but also redeemable fiance person in her life and this big important job, but she gets called back to the wilderness home that she came from and fled many years ago to save the Christmas tree farm, the clock tower, the school dance, something through a cocoa competition, peppermint making machine, maple syrup, concoction. And along the way, she falls in love with not Josh Lucas from Sweet Home Alabama, but pretty much that archetype of fifth grade boyfriend who turned out to be this hunk hanging out in the woods who's
Makes beautiful art.
well,
and
he's
is
like
very thoughtful.
his real job is he runs a pencil factory or something like that. But together they fall in love, and douchey McDreambag finds somebody else to fall in love with, and they all go happily ever after in about 90 minutes. Sound right?
Now, you sound pretty accurate. That is the traditional Hallmark movie formula. Yes,
Okay.
I will say though, now that Candace Cameron Bure and the former president of Hallmark Films have left for rival network GAC, the formula is starting to change quite a bit. Number one, the hero girl is not always white. Sometimes she's allowed to be black. Sometimes she's allowed to be a Jewish.
Jewish?
A Jewish, yes.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds okay. Keep going.
Sometimes there are black characters who aren't just background characters or the sassy best friend.
or Medea.
Well, no, that's Tyler Perry. That's a totally different genre of Christmas movie, and we can get into that if you'd like.
I've seen all of them with my wife in theaters, so just leave it at that.
That's so special.
Rachel is a Medea fan, so
that's so funny. I have a story about Medea I can tell you shortly, but let me get through my spiel here first. So Candace Cameron left to become the creative director of GAC, and the head of the network basically poached her over, and they are making very much the traditional Hallmark movies, but with even less interesting character actors, right? Even less interesting actors, less interesting characters, less interesting backgrounds. There's no occasional mention of homosexuals being in that universe because Hallmark, you sometimes have a gay best friend, or they've actually had a couple of movies now where they've had gay romances as the lead. That's one of the reasons why Candace Cameron defected, because that offended her sensibilities.
Really?
Of
Well,
course,
snaps for Hallmark.
I mean, that is progressive for Hallmark.
Yeah.
So.
Because Hallmark realizes that their core audience is not, the 60-year-old grandmothers anymore. They still make a lot of movies that are for the 60-year-old grandmothers, but there is an increasing population of people in my age range, the coveted mid-40s demographic, who are watching these movies and enjoying these movies, and who are open to more diverse casts and more diverse plot lines, because sometimes it's not a Christmas tree farm or an old inn they're trying to save.
Yeah. Well, and let's be honest, we're not so far from being 60-year-olds.
I was going to say, for us who are staring down the barrel of 50.
I was like, the 60-year-olds are not like they were, well, trying to think of how old my mom is. Yeah, she's almost
they're probably 70-year-olds, Lindsay.
Just to give it some context, when we started doing film strip, I was in my early 30s.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Okay, Matt, where are you on the Hallmark movie?
I think the only Hallmark movie I've ever seen all the way through, beginning to end, is a very old Hallmark Christmas movie. It's Mrs. Santa Claus with Angela Lansbury.
Murder She Santa Claus.
Yes, it's a great movie. I love it. But
it's a great movie.
Yes, but the more recent ones, I've I don't think I've ever seen a single one all the way through, and it's mostly because just rom-coms are just not for me, right? They just aren't. I've seen very few of them that are actually funny and also interesting and good. I think the last one I watched, and I had never seen it before, but a friend of mine showed it to me recently, was Bridesmaids. So, but the kind of generic, everything Ron said he enjoys about them, the formulaic, the genericness, like, to me, that rom-com formula doesn't work. Now, that being said, there is a Hallmark movie channel on my, I don't have cable. I have the Samsung built-in, whatever comes on my Samsung TV. It comes with digital channels, and there is a Hallmark movie channel on those channels. So maybe I'll sit down and watch one all the way through, just because Ron has such an affinity for them. I'm like, okay, now I've got to see what Ron sees in these movies. So
I will say that the best one I watched last year actually wasn't a Christmas movie. It was a Hanukkah movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, do tell, because now I'm talking about broadening your wings.
Yeah.
Like I said, they let the hero be a Jewish now. It was called, let me see if I could find it. I don't think it was Hanukkah on the Rocks, but that was a good one. They had one that was essentially a take on Groundhog Day, but like a time loop Hanukkah movie. And I believe the girl goes back in time to the 80s, and it involves her parents. I think it's basically Back to the Future plot.
This is Back to the Groundhog Day, but Hanukkah.
Yeah, but Hanukkah, and it was very funny. There were some very funny sequences in it.
I'm going to tell you, that sounds like an SNL skit. Actually, no, it sounds like a Mad TV skit. Back to the Hanukkah future or something like that would be what they would have done. So.
Yeah, it's the
Round and Round. Is that what it's called, Ron?
That may be it.
The reference to the dreidel or something like that.
Yes, yes,
and the time loop.
So. And I believe there was some sort of dreidel involved. That's the mechanism that sends her back in time.
I made that up. I can't believe this. Okay. Okay. You know what though? I'll say something to jump in real quick before you do. So Matt, funny enough, like it's been a long debate here on Film Strip as to why we haven't done a lot of comedies. And I'm one of those people that I think it's hard to do a movie podcast on a comedy because jokes are kind of in the moment and at the time.
Yeah.
Unless there's something else going on in the movie too. But there's one exception to that, and it's some of the earliest Film Strip stuff. And I would revisit this anytime. I'm a sucker for rom-coms. Always have been. from the 80s on through. I still watch rom-coms, and Rachel watches these Hallmark movies too during this time of year, Ron. And it usually takes me like I usually hold like she starts like in late October, and I'm like, no, we have to have spooky things, then we have to have Thanksgiving, and then we, I have to have it in a certain way. But I will jump in and watch a few of them with her if I think the rom-com is worthy and reminds me of like other rom-coms that I've seen. So little known fact, Jay's a big fan of rom-coms. So I'll do those. All right, Linz, where are you on these Hallmark things?
I don't think I have physically been able to sit through an entire Hallmark movie ever in my life. Much to my mother's and my aunts and my sisters and my nieces' chagrin. I really tried. My family and I, we rented, we would every handful of years, we'll do like a little, some kind of family cabin trip mountain thing. And it's usually right around November. So it's right around when these movies are really starting to pick up. And I think it was like 2019. It was pre-pandemic, but very close to pandemic. 2019, we all went and they were so freaking excited to watch these Hallmark movies. And so I was like being a good sport. I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch one of these Hallmark movies with you. And I don't know if I got 30 minutes into it. And I was like, I gotta go. I went downstairs and I'm pretty sure I ended up playing pool with my nephew or something. But it was just, it wasn't for me. I do see the appeal. My sister explained it to me. She said it's just, and it's what Ron had mentioned too. Like, it's just nice because exactly what's going to happen. It always has a happy ending. Everyone ends happy. They're all like objectively good looking. They're very like vanilla good looking people.
Like that One Tree Hill good looking is kind of
yeah. Like there's nothing. They're like Sears catalog good looking.
Oh, that's a good way of saying it. Yeah.
Right. Like they're all very like they're not gonna be like Victoria's Secret models or anything, but they're not ugly. And I was like, all right, I get that. I just to get my formulaic, dose in, just watch the same movies over and over and over again. So I don't know.
Same.
Which maybe
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So I've never, and I think it's just because I feel like the ones that I've seen, the acting is so bad that I just can't get past it. And that has always been my issue. It's probably gotten much better though.
I will say now that there's not a Candace Cameron Bure stranglehold on the movies. The acting quality has gotten a little bit better.
I didn't realize she had such like was such a production force in these things. I was not aware of that. So,
and to be fair, I don't think I've ever seen I don't think I've ever seen a Hallmark movie with Lacey last name Chabert. Yeah, I haven't seen one with Lacey Chabert in it. So maybe that would change my mind. That would probably change my mind.
She's pretty good. She can elevate the material. And honestly, they've gotten, now that these are more of a thing, they've been able to get better actors to be in them. Like there was one a few years ago they made with 3 angels, I want to say, and one of the angels was Reginald VelJohnson, and he was awesome.
Oh wow!
And
I can actually kind of see that though. Yeah.
And that one was actually like legitimately funny and very warm, and he was super charming in it. He's exactly the kind of presence you want in a thing like this, playing an angel. But he had a nice back and forth. There was another angel that was a little short Asian lady, and she was very like acerbic towards him. And those two would go back and forth. And there was like a third angel that was kind of like stuck in the middle, trying to play the peacemaker. And it was a very funny back and forth kind of thing between them, because they're all like trying to do nice things, right? But they're just having these disagreements on how to do the nice things. And You know, the one angel's like, this guy's an idiot. You're never going to succeed with him. You as well just try with the dog or whatever, you know.
Well, you know what you're talking about that
basically
though?
Like Scrooged. Yeah.
You're talking about that though, and it does remind me of a rom-com from 1983 that was this ill-felt attempt at capturing John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John's chemistry from Grease again in this movie called Two of a Kind, where they are like being manipulated by these different angels to try to get these two people together because it's kind of like, I don't know, avert the apocalypse or something like that. It's just a lot of darn stuff going on. But you've got Charles Durning is in it. Oliver Reed is Satan. Scatman Crothers is one of the angels. It's actually like not entirely, well, no, it's entirely awful, but it's worth watching because it's so bad. It's funny to watch them try to just keep doing this, you know, and try to keep doing the Travolta and Newton-John thing. I mean, they still have a ton of chemistry together. They still did. You know, that was only a couple of years or a few years after Grease, but and definitely I feel like it's one of those that's right to get ripped off and remade somewhere along the way, and it probably has, and I just don't know it. But you saying that made me go like, what was the name of that again? Two of a Kind. Yes, and yes, I saw it. So
yeah, maybe I'll have to give it another chance.
Now, Lindsay, the best thing about these is you don't actually have to pay that close of attention.
I like
this
that.
is like the kind of thing you can put on like when you're like, if you're like all cooking something together in the kitchen or you're all playing cards or something like that. That seems like
wrapping
the kind
presents, just hanging out, watching the kids play.
That
kind of thing. Yeah. It's something nice to have on in the background.
Background noise.
Okay.
Unlike the Holla Dog and Holla Cat one that I watch every year, they do on like Christmas Day, I want to say they do like Holla Dog, where it's just like little happy, friendly dogs in like a Christmas scene. They're running around doing dog things. And then they have cats, and the little cats are running around doing little cat things. And it's very cute and funny. That always makes me cry every year.
I thought we peaked with just like the fireplace that you could have on television. Yeah. That was always cool. Wow.
Although I will say, since you mentioned it, the Riff Tracks Yule log that they do every year is very funny.
Now that I would have to tune into. So, well, speaking of animated things, Lindsay, you're the fan of the animated side of the Christmas movie stuff. So, what keeps you going back to those? What do you love about them? What are some of your favorites?
Part of it's nostalgia, right? It's a lot of the same movies I watched when I was a kid, and I like them. I always did. And I'm going to lump like some of the claymation in there too. And I am going to lump Muppets Christmas Carol, even though it's not technically animated, because it is
still for kids. Yeah.
superior Christmas Carol version.
Ooh, we might have to fight over that because the one with George C. Scott kind of rules. So
I don't know. I think Muppets Christmas Carol is
it's been a minute.
It's a perfect Christmas Carol movie.
It is pretty damn perfect. Yeah.
Last year, Jay, I read the Christmas Carol, like the full novella or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
very wordy.
The one that's closest to the original book is the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Really? Yeah, it's been so long. I read that.
Yeah, I read that book every year, and it's surprising how close that Muppet version is to.
While he was dead to begin with.
Yep, he was dead to begin with.
And also, the thing I thought was a joke that they threw in just for that movie, the part where where Gonzo Dickens turns to the camera and says, "And Tiny Tim, who did not die," is actually a thing that's in the text of the real Christmas Carol.
Who did not die?
Okay, now I have a sign. I'm gonna have to go back and reread this because it's been a long time. So
it is usually it's been a few years since I've read it all the way, or since I've read the full piece. But
and I told this story somewhere, and I don't know where I told it, but one of the reasons it says that in the original text is because it was published as a serial. And people were so outraged at the thought that Tiny Tim was going to die that Dickens got hate mail.
Dickens almost got miseried by one of his fans, is what you're saying?
Well, he wrote that cockadoodie story, and so
yep.
Wow.
Oh, that's good. All right, Liz, you mentioned nostalgia though, and that's what I wanted to kind of pick on. Like, what what specifically like brings you back with those things? Man, we are all taking turns freezing tonight.
We sure are.
Okay.
She is. She's back.
Let me
Yes.
toss it back to let me toss it back to you.
Sure.
Lindsey, one of the things you mentioned though specifically was that it was the nostalgia that keeps you coming back. So what is it that like really pulls on the old memory strings for you?
The animated Grinch Who Stole Christmas is a big one. Like I remember watching that in my Grammy's living room in Maine with my brother and all my cousins every Christmas. That was our thing. We loved Grinch Who Stole Christmas. So it's the live action one is fine. A lot of people really enjoy it. It's good, but it's not one of the, if I don't watch this movie this season, I will be unfulfilled kind of movies.
It wasn't Christmas if I didn't, yeah.
Right. Like there are several Christmas movies like that I must watch, and that's not one of them.
What are the ones you must watch then that you brought it up?
Oh, I must watch Muppets Christmas Carol, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Then let's see, the Santa Claus is Coming to Town and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the claymation-y ones. Those are good.
The Rankin and Bass stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. My Brian and I were just talking about this earlier today, actually, about because my favorite Christmas movies or my favorite movies change depending on like the time of day, it just depends. So
Sure.
So some newer Christmas movies have found their way into a must-watch rotation. Office Christmas Party is a new one. It's not an animated one, but it is a comedy and it is wildly funny. It's just fun. Like it's a movie to like, I don't know, just enjoy. There's not a whole lot to think about, but let's see. What else am I missing? I feel like I'm missing several others. Elf, I also must watch. I know that's not always a fan favorite, but I went to see that one in the movie theater when it came out, and you gotta have it. Frosty the Snowman, the animated Frosty the Snowman.
That one still brings tears to the eyes for me. I remember thinking that was so sad when I was a kid, and but it's definitely that's usually when we finally are all together with family and stuff like that, and we've got noise in the background, those are usually the things we put on, is that, because it just sort of
there we are. And Grinch. I froze and now I'm back.
But those are all I mean, those are all hard to argue with, right? Like Rankin Bass, I'm gonna be super pedantic. It's not claymation. They're not made out of clay. It's animagic stop motion. It's just one of my things. Everybody calls them claymation, and I'm like, Gumby is claymation.
I don't know what else to call it. So thank you for giving me the vocabulary to appropriately do that.
If you want to talk about claymation, let's talk about the Claymation Christmas Special.
The Claymation Christmas Special,
which is fabulous.
Yep, that's also but Rudolph's Red-Nosed Reindeer, all that. It's all good stuff.
Garfield's Christmas, the Garfield's Christmas special
gets me. The older and older I get, the more and more Garfield's Christmas gets me.
I can't watch Garfield's Christmas anymore because it makes me cry too much.
It does bring a tear or two. It's just the sweetest thing.
And it's funny rewatching these things that I've kind of took for granted for years through the eyes of my child, right?
Right.
Because it's funny because like she didn't want to watch The Grinch for like 2 years, and then one year it just clicked and she just watched it like a dozen times. Right? She didn't want to watch A Muppet's Christmas Carol at all for like when she was like 3, but for whatever reason when she turned 4, we watched it over and over again. Same story, Muppet Family Christmas. She loved that one. It's weird the kind of things that will take off and like click and become a thing that she wants to watch versus things that she resists. now that she's a little bit older, she has a little more faith in our ability to pick out things that are, good or at least appealing. and that'll last for like 3 years, and then she'll be a tween, and then I'll be back to being an idiot again, and that's fine. But the important thing is I made you watch Frosty the Snowman, and you loved it. I made you watch Rudolph, and you loved it.
Yeah.
And we even watched like the Year Without a Santa Claus.
Yep.
We watched the Easter Bunny one. We've watched Year Without Santa Claus is the one with Heat Miser and Cold Miser, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. We watched
Santa
the
Claus
one
is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town. That's it. Thank you. I knew you would know.
Have you seen, now you're talking about Easter Bunny ones. I'm going to go off on a tangent here. Rankin Bass actually made 3 different Easter Bunny origin story movies. All 3 of them there was the first Easter Rabbit, there was Here Comes Peter Cottontail, and then there is the bizarre, weird, like Earth 2 special that is the Easter Bunny is coming to town, which is like Santa Claus is coming to town done over again, only with the Easter Bunny. It's like you're in the Bizarro universe. I love it, but it is so weird to watch. That's my little Easter Bunny tangent.
One of the puppets in that one, I swear, looks like a James Bond henchman or something with a long face and stuff. He looks like he could be a Bond villain or something. Man.
But yeah, those are all. And then another one you want to watch if you want to have a real trip is The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. That's another Rankin and Bass. It's based on the L. Frank Baum book of the same name. L. Frank Baum, of course, did The Wizard of Oz, and he wrote a very interesting Santa Claus story. And Rankin and Bass did something pretty special with it. So
I'm not surprised. What are your thoughts, Matt, on The Little Drummer Boy?
The Little Drummer Boy is a weird one for me now. Simply because I am an atheist, and the Little Drummer Boy, of course, is a film. So I tend not to watch The Little Drummer Boy anymore. It's fine for what it is, but it's not. For as much as I love Christmas, I love a very secular version of the holiday.
If it makes you feel better, it has very little in common with like any.
Oh no, it definitely does. It definitely does not. And especially the sequel as well, the Little Drummer Boy book too. But also there's other really forgotten ones like Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey, The First Christmas Snow. One of my favorite Rankin Bass ones is not stop motion and is not Frosty the Snowman, is The Night Before Christmas. The one with the mice and the clock tower.
Yeah, I do like that one. Yeah, I do like that. That one always felt like a cousin to Secret of Nim, with their animated mice, which is
Santa's weirdly Amish in that one. He has no mustache.
Yeah, that's right.
Beard.
How do you feel about Polar Express?
I like the Polar Express. I know a lot of people think now the Polar Express has problems. I don't have the Uncanny Valley problem that a lot of people have with the animation in that film. I think their elves are really weird and creepy.
They're super creepy.
I think their North Pole is a little like company town industrial hell in that movie. But I do think I wish I could see that movie in IMAX 3D because it has some amazingly beautifully animated sequences that seem like they would be a roller coaster ride to watch in IMAX 3D,
I've seen it in that format, and I'll tell you, I didn't like it before I saw it in that format, and then I was like, oh, I get it now. This is really how this was meant to be absorbed and taken in. And when we saw it, the IMAX theater we saw it in, it was sold out. So Rachel and I were sitting next to these kids whom we did not know, who we just ended up sharing popcorn with all night. And to watch them reach out and try to touch all the snowflakes, it was just something kind of like magical about that. Because at that point, like our nieces and nephews were just getting to the age where they kind of knew what was going on. So it was fun to see because we have kids. So, the sort of kid adjacent stuff and see that was fun. But I didn't like that movie, and not just because of the dead eye animation stuff. I just was like, this isn't really my thing. But then seeing it in that format, I was like, okay, I get it now. Like it is a ride. It's a beautiful ride.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that's Robert Zemeckis did that again several years later. We were talking about A Christmas Carol. Another great and I think underappreciated version of A Christmas Carol is Disney's A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey as Scrooge. It's also wonderfully animated. It was meant to be watched in 3D. It has some blatantly 3D gimmick shots in it, but it is a very well animated, well done film. So if you haven't checked out Disney's animated A Christmas Carol from Robert Zemeckis in a while, that's another one I recommend.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I haven't, because that Jim Carrey Grinch thing is just like an abomination that must be destroyed. In my opinion, I hate that. I'm sorry. That first one, that animated one holds a very special place for me. I'm like, you don't touch that. Like, nope.
He does some very, very Jim Carrey things as Scrooge, but less, because again, it's later in Jim Carrey, as he's gotten older, is, like a lot of human beings, has gotten more reserved, and so he does some of that Jim Carrey like stuff as Scrooge, but not like a lot of it, and it's usually kind of appropriate, like his Scrooge waking up Christmas morning realizing it's Christmas morning. He goes like all on Jim Carrey in that scene, but it doesn't bother you quite as much because Scrooge has just been through this whole ordeal, so
that was an excellent Jim Carrey impression.
That's a
Matt.
very good really impression. Yeah, like come for the recommendation, stay for the Jim Carrey impression.
Yeah, right.
Well, Matt, let's toss it to you. What are some of your like go-to must-watch things? Do they all fall into one pile, or do you kind of make your rounds to a lot of stuff? So
I kind of have an all over the place pile. I'll tell you, I'm gonna go and talk about just a couple that I think have come out, that more recently, that like Claws. It is a Netflix original. I hope at some point Netflix occasionally will put things out on physical. Claus is a fantastic film. It's got J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus. It's the animation.
Yes. Good. Oh, sorry to interrupt. Yeah,
no, it's okay. So the animation's very good. It's wicked heartfelt. The main character's a mailman, which that's my day job, so I kind of relate to it's I don't know. I just think Claus is, and it won some awards, and rightfully so. It's a fan. Not Jay, Ron, I take it you've seen it.
Yes, and it definitely brings a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
Everything does, but some things do way easier, and Claus is one of those ones that really gets me. That I have to leave the room at certain points because it's just going to become a full on, ugly cry moment for me.
I'll tell you another one I like a lot that people don't tend to know a lot about, that I really enjoy, is a movie called Christmas Story. Not A Christmas Story, but it's just called Christmas Story. And the reason it's just called Christmas Story is because it's actually a Finnish film. It's translated from Finnish. That's why it's called. But it is a Santa Claus origin story, but after a very Finnish style. It looks great. It's a live action film. It looks fantastic. Everybody in it is very good. I've only ever seen it dubbed here in the States. I've never seen but the dubbing actors do a good job. And it's just another one of those films that has a lot of really touching moments in it that I think is worth a watch. So anybody that hasn't seen Christmas Story, That's one that I always toss out. But then I always have, classics on my list as well. Like, some people debate the Christmassiness of this film. To me, it's simply a Christmas film only because it would feel weird to watch it any other time of year, and that's It's a Wonderful Life. Um, I am forever and ever and ever shocked at the actual true story of how that film became a classic after bombing and falling into the public domain. Because every time I watch it, I'm like, this is, the saying is there's no such thing as a perfect film. Fuck, man. Watch It's a Wonderful Life and try to tell me it's not a perfect film because it's every top to bottom. It's well scripted, it's well acted, it's well shot. It's just, I don't know. I love It's a Wonderful Life. It's a top 10 film of all time for me, not just top 10 Christmas film. And the same for the original Miracle on 34th Street. These days, I hear a lot of
I
people.
love the original.
Love that one.
These days, I hear a lot of people talk up about the remake. I don't like the remake. I don't get why people love it. The original film, I think, is magic. I think it's fantastic. I think Edmund Gwenn as Santa Claus, Nick, Chris, he's fantastic. Little Natalie Wood is fantastic.
She's so amazing in that film. Yeah. She just has some of the best little lines. And one of my favorites, I'll have to think of it, is she's like, I believe this is stupid,
silly,
but this is silly, but I believe.
Yeah. She thought Edmund Gwenn was Santa Claus. She had never met him without his beard. His beard, by the way, he did not grow that. That is prosthetic.
Really? Because it looks
from
amazing.
1947. It looks incredible
good,
too.
yeah.
No, he was not a bearded man, and they gave him a theatrical beard, and she had never seen him without it. And when he showed up at like the after party or the awards or something like that, and she was like, "Who is this man?" She thought he was actually Santa Claus. There's a scene in that. It's one of the, Jay, you were talking about humor and being of the time, and humor sometimes doesn't age well. The scene in that film where the judge repeatedly tells him to produce further exhibits and put them on his desk, and he keeps trying to explain, like, you don't want me to do that, and the judge just keeps going. And finally they bring in bags and bags and bags of letters to Santa Claus, and I cackle every time. It's so funny. It's a great gag. So
that is a good gag. That's the kind of, like, I think when I say that about comedies, a lot of times they are of the moment, but like there are some gags that just work for everyone. When we did all those Marx Brothers movies years ago, y'all, like, what lasts about those is you see how copied they were, through the years, and like how much that kind of gag like still plays.
And they're still getting copied. My favorite thing is when someone goes, "Oh, they're doing a Three Stooges bit," and I'll at least think it, and I'll just go, "Actually, it's a Marx Brothers bit."
I'm actually, it's the that's
I won't
awesome.
correct you, but
that's awesome. So
and then I'm a traditionalist. I always throw in. I watch The Santa Claus. It's one of my, Mickey's Christmas Carol. I have become a big fan. Going back to Netflix, I've become a big fan of the Christmas Chronicles movies with Kurt Russell. Those are a blast.
Have you seen Red One?
Yeah, I didn't
also
like
a J.K. Simmons, juiced up Santa.
Yeah, I need to give Red One another shot. I didn't love it. There's this thing that they are doing as of late where Santa's becoming an action star. It started a little bit with the Christmas Chronicles and went there quite a bit with Violent Night, and then with Red One. And then there's another movie that's supposed to be coming out this year. I think I haven't heard anything more about it. It must have been pushed back to next year. The Man with the Bag with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Santa Claus.
Ho ho ho.
Yes. Merry Christmas, children. I am here to give you your presents. Oh, by the way, my bag, my magical bag, it got stolen. So I have to enlist someone on the naughty list, this thief, to help me get my bag back. That's the plot of that movie.
And they're going to reunite him with the thief from Conan the Destroyer, right?
There we go, maybe. Right? Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm but your humble weirdo.
Honestly, our buddy Arnie does so much character research. I bet he'll end up doing, like, maybe he just felt like he didn't have enough Santa experience and he's just gonna maul Santa for the next 2 seasons.
That'd be funny as heck.
What would you like for Christmas?
Yeah. Well, because wasn't he was a kindergarten teacher before Kindergarten Cop. Like really he'll dig in.
I know they
time. And what
that
else
needs to be a stay tuned on this show, by the way. Kindergarten Cop is circled around our brains for years. Yeah. I would love to go back and rewatch that. So.
It gets brought up a lot.
I know they filmed it. I've seen set photos of him in costume. He looks very good.
I bet he does. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about it, so I don't know. Yeah, so I kind of float around a lot of the
Henry
classics.
Cavill's gonna be the next Santa Claus after.
I float around a lot of the classics and a lot of the, again, kind of Lindsey's nostalgia and the feel good, right? Because I kind of, the way my year goes, I come out of that Halloween season where I've spent, a couple months of like murder and mayhem and blood and guts. And then I just want to spend a few weeks like feeling good about life,
After 15 hours of recording with Anthony. Horror movie thing. Everybody needs a little feel good.
Yeah.
We need a come down moment.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then I brought it up. Let's see. I'm trying. Another one that I love that I think is Santa Claus the movie with David Huddleston.
I remember that one. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's a weird film. It's kind of like two movies. It like somewhere in the middle, it becomes an almost entirely different movie.
Yeah, because
Dudley Moore.
Yep. David Huddleston, Dudley Moore, and John Lithgow.
Yeah.
Do you have a John Lithgow impression?
Sorta. What is it? Christmas 2 swine, cancel my subscription. What else does he say in that movie? I know there's Christmas 2. He does that one, and I can't think of another of his really over the top lines from that movie.
It's so wild that Lithgow has become like this big sort of comic presence and stuff in his later days and things, because I remember him from like these early drama roles, in the 80s and stuff. He was the preacher in Footloose, and he was so earnest in that movie. Like you didn't agree with him, but you appreciated him because he was so like heartbroken over his son being dead. And then he was the guy who had an affair with Deborah Winger in Terms of Endearment. Talk about a schmaltz fest. But he's good in that though. He's really good.
But don't forget, he got himself out of that comic and back to deadly serious when he was a serial killer on Dexter.
Yes, Trinity
killer.
See, the first time I knew him as a serial killer was in a little Denzel Washington joint called Ricochet, and that is a bonkers movie to stay tuned and a half. So
I love that movie.
Yeah, me too.
That movie's insane.
That's a Russell McKay joint, so that tells you a lot about it.
If I ever get to do Schlock and Awe, it's going to be Ricochet and Virtuosity.
Oh, that's a great pair. You need to reach out to Lindsey because she would definitely go for that. So,
I mean, it's double Denzels, right?
Yeah, the double Denzel. Yeah, so
double
I love
P's.
that. I love that Lindsey's the one that said that. So.
I can't be the only one whose brain went there.
Honestly, it didn't. Maybe said it. And I was like, okay. That's fair. I tend to be a fan of I watch horror movies year round, so obviously I have my Christmas horror, but I kind of like the offbeat Christmas movie and stuff. And I'm not talking about like Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I mean, all that stuff. But like, there are other movies that happen at Christmas time that aren't directly just about the holiday that I like. And one of them I can thank Ron's wife for, because Anna and the Apocalypse was not something I knew existed until Holly was like, "You need to watch this. You like musicals. You would dig this," because she knows I like musical stuff. And I love that movie. I think
a musical?
It's a zombie Christmas musical. Yes.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it was actually, I think it started out as just like zombie musical was the short film that got it made, basically. And so,
grabbing my movie list.
Yeah, and the Apocalypse is fun.
Somebody singing and dancing and stabbing zombies with a giant candy cane. This is the perfect movie for you.
That is your movie. So,
and really, who among us doesn't want that, except possibly Matt?
I like zombie movies, I tell you, and I like musicals. So
it's fun. It's all done in like goofy fun. It feels a lot like, to me, the reason Holly recommended it to me, because she knows I'm a big Buffy fan, and Buffy's musical episode is one of the coolest things they ever did. In the season that didn't have a lot of good like through lines, like they found a lot in that one episode to do. And so it plays a lot like that. So if you dig that kind of thing, if you dig Once More with Feeling, you'd dig Anne and the Apocalypse. Lindsay, you would like it, being a musical person. You would dig it. It's your jam. We already talked about the musical 34th Street. This time of year, like I mentioned it on the November session show, that November's the time when I usually revisit James Bond movies and do stuff with them. And there's one that's specifically, set during the holidays, and it's on Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's the standalone George Lazenby one. It's also got the Alps and all that snow, and it's beautiful. I mean, and that's an excuse to always go back and rewatch that one. And I'm glad that movie's gotten reappraised in recent years, because it's just dumped on forever, because it's basically a Sean Connery movie with like Sean Connery's model stunt double, in the role. But other than that, I mean, it's fine. It works. But
George Lazenby is not a problem in that movie.
No, he's fine. He's fine.
Oh yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, it's Diana Rigg is what really sells that movie, and Telly Savalas too. But Diana Rigg's awesome in that movie, so I like her a lot. But
everybody, if you only know Diana Rigg from like Game of Thrones, go back and watch that.
Oh, go back and watch that, and watch the Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know her from Great Muppet Caper.
That was my introduction to Charles Grodin and her.
Or I was like, go all the way back and watch The Avengers, where she's incredible.
Yeah, and we're not talking about the MCU.
Yeah. So, Great Muppet Caper film strip. Stay tuned.
Oh, big time! Yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about that one.
I love that movie too.
Love that one.
I'm trying to get Maeve to jump on like the Muppets wholeheartedly, like I have.
Ron, if you knew how many times I quoted Kermit and Fozzie's reporter gimmick lines when I was a reporter, it would make you laugh. I constantly use that. I use that all the time, and nobody ever caught on to it. I was like, see, it was all training for these moments. But but no, I like that one. But now there are three like horror themed, Christmas movies that I always go to, and it's because at one time or another I've had some sort of podcast tie-in to them. So years and years ago, when I was editing for Now Playing, they did all the Silent Night, Deadly Night films, and I helped cut those together. And when the 2012 remake got made with Malcolm McDowell and Donald Logue and all these other people, and it kind of came and went, and everybody forgot about it because they just dumped it straight to video. But I contend it's actually pretty fun. It's not so much a horror movie as much as it's an action movie, and it's not really a remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night like at all. It's just sort of tangentially in that space, but I like it. It's fun. And goes down pretty easy. The other two were episodes here on Film Strip. So I recommend everybody, if you want to know what I think is the origin of Santa becoming an action hero, it's this 2005 movie that was directed by a guy who used to be an assistant to Brett Ratner. It's called Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg and Emily DeRaven and Robert Culp and Saul Rubinek and all these other Jewish actors. And Rebecca Gayhart's in it. Brian on the show, Film Strip Brian, introduced me to that years ago, and I think it lives on Amazon just permanently.
Probably,
and there's rocket launchers, Chris Kattan's in it. It's nuts. I mean, it's a bonkers thing, but it's so much fun, and I usually will throw that on at some point during the holiday season because it's a laugh. And then I can't go through a Christmas season without turning on Rare Exports because of Ron, who not only did it on this show, I think we took that one too to the podcast and made them watch it too. I will never forget Finnish, Heisenberg. I called him. So this was the lead actor in that movie.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's very much the Finnish Bryan Cranston. But I love that movie. And I don't understand half the language in it, and I don't need to. Like, it's just, it's hilarious to me. I love it.
It's Bjorn Cranston.
Yes,
Bjorn Cranston.
That's gold.
So, I do kind of feel bad that we didn't warn Julia that there was a bunch of penis in the movie, but
elf dong.
Yeah, but it's much funnier that we didn't.
No, it was her reaction to that is classic. I think it's on the regular feed. Y'all can go back and listen to that if you want to. But
elf dong.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild. Like the story, it's kind of like a little bit of a mix between like Thing and Krampus and a few other things. Lindsey, it's pretty wild. So, but it's a good watch, and it goes down easy too. It's pretty quick if memory serves.
And there's also some elements of that Toby Hooper Invaders from Mars.
Yes, yeah. Feels like in that
like the
vein of things.
The thing buried underground and with the salt. Yeah.
It's in that. It's got that
elements of that too.
That kind of B movie 50s and 60s thing going on. But it was made in the 2000s. But again, I think it's only like an hour and 20 minutes, and maybe 10 minutes of that is credits. It's a fast watch, and it wastes no time getting you into it. So it's got cute kids in it, and it's fun. So
it moves very fast, and it's very much a European view of Santa Claus kind of thing.
Right, but there's also like this whole like real random subplot that could be the subplot of like a cold open to a Bond movie because there's like arms dealing going on.
Yeah, it's weird.
There's a lot of shit happening in that movie is what I'm trying to say. So, but yeah, I go for that kind of I go for the kind of the offbeat stuff like that because it's my personality. Have
you seen Dial Code Santa Claus yet, Jay?
No, I have not.
AKA Deadly Games, AKA what if Kevin McAllister was actually trying to kill in the Home Alone movies?
Wait a minute. What's the name of this again?
Dial Code Santa Claus, AKA Deadly Games.
No, that sounded like this movie called Better Watch Out that I watched. That was about this kid trying to mac on his babysitter, but also maybe trying to kill her.
That sounds really familiar.
It was on one of the previous brackets. It wasn't this year's. It was on one of the ones before.
That's why. All right. I was
I've seen
all
it.
Those movies run together when you're watching them.
It's actually pretty good. I mean, for immediately the kid's like it, but like Patrick Warburton's in it for like half a second, and but that's what that sounded like was Better Watch Out. So that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is French. It came out like 2 years before Home Alone. It pretty much directly inspired Home Alone. There's even some straight lifted sequences that feels like, but yeah, it's bananas.
Oh yeah, I've heard it. Now it rings a bell. It's got more than one name too. I think that's why
it's Dial Code Santa Claus, aka Deadly Games, aka Dial Code
Santa. That's the one. Yes. That's the name. Yes. Okay.
The poster of it looks like Rambo trying to shoot Santa Claus, who's trying to stab him with an icicle. So I miss good poster art. We don't make that anymore.
Don't we all?
Well, look, man, go look at foreign poster art sometimes too. Their interpretations of what's going on in American films is there's like one of the Halloweens, like Michael Myers has an RPG for some reason. I'm like,
that's
wow.
That's one of the African painted posters. Those are incredible.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that's a different movie. So and maybe it could have been made, but no, I like that kind of stuff. And then, I don't know. I think about too, like, movies that are like that are definitely about that time of the year but aren't really about the subject matter too, that are always kind of fun and just for you to throw Christmas around, like Night of the Comet comes to mind, and Invasion USA, which is definitely a Christmas movie because Chuck Norris drives over a whole Christmas tree farm in that. But yeah, I do like those. I mean, I have fun watching those and doing all that stuff. And then any of the Shane Black Christmas stuff, it's always on the list for me. Yeah, Matchstick Man, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is always a lot of fun. So because I like his sensibilities, it's snarky humor. Holidays are tough for me. Like just not to get too personal here or whatever, but it's not associated with some of the best memories, not from like childhood, but more from like teenager or young adulthood, stuff like that. And so it's just a lot of things that I'm like, I get through it because a lot of people around me love it. My wife loves the holiday season, so I want to, enjoy it with her, and I do. But for me, I do have to find my own little cave of like wonders to play in. That's why I watch these all things. So.
Your Gremlins and
well, now that's one I'll only watch if I need an ironic laugh. It may be one of the worst monologues in cinematic history.
Gremlins goes in the nostalgic bucket for me. Yeah. I watched that. Well, I didn't watch it just at Christmas though. I'd watch it in the summer too.
I'll tell you another really good one, and it's not offbeat, and it's not one a lot of people see, and it's not easy to come by, but it's a gem, is Muppet Family Christmas.
Oh, yep. I hadn't thought about that one in a long time. So
it's good. It's good. It's everybody goes to Fozzie's mom's house for Christmas.
For the icy patch.
Watch out for the icy patch. That's our buddy Mike Westfall over at Advent Calendar House always ends his episodes with watch out for the icy patch. And they all go to Fozzie's mom's house. All the Muppets go, all the Sesame Street go, all the Fraggles go, Doc.
It's funny to think about that those are all part of the same universe, but they are like, they're just, So
all of them are there, and it's fabulous. And like people are like sleeping in socks that are hung up on the walls, depending on the size of the Muppet.
That's
Animal and Gonzo sleeping on hangers on the wall, and Animal love hanger.
This checks out. Yeah,
Animal ever sleeps, man.
Yeah, the fact like. The idea of Animal, I know what he's based on in this persona, but Animal being the drummer is like the most spastic dude playing the drums. May have not been the choice, guys. Yeah, but it's good times with all of that. So I feel just as an aside note, since we've had a lot of Muppet talk tonight, like there's something like disconcerting, but oddly alluring about the whole Fraggle Rock situation for me that I can't quite pinpoint, but just having watched it growing up, and I don't know, I saw some of it not that long ago. I just got into a mood and I was like, this is so trippy and weird, man. I can't believe they let kids watch this. But,
yeah.
I loved Fraggle Rock when I was a kid.
Partly Canadian, so that's part of it.
It had a great song that helped. Like having a good theme song is a.
Did anyone ever watch Eureka's Castle? That was a Nickelodeon.
Yep.
Fraggle Rock was Disney. Eureka's
I was gonna
Castle
say Eureka's Castle would have been past, I think, Jay's time by a little bit.
Yeah, big
yeah.
Back in my day. Eureka's Castle. I'm looking this up now. Came out in 91. So I would have been.
The Muppets were on Saturday Night Live and they sucked.
Yeah, that's pretty much See, by 90 and 91,
and we hated it.
Yeah. I was raised on puppets, right? Between Sesame Street and Fraggle Rock and Muppets and
oh, hey man, going into the fairyland with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was my favorite part of that show. Yeah, I was all about that.
We're not forget about Gen X, millennial. We're the puppet generation is really what that is.
Yeah. I mean, really, it invaded every part of our lives. Genesis put it in a music video, you know. And those are some scary ass puppets, by the way, too.
What is the first Christmas movie you remember seeing?
Oh man,
I mean,
good question.
My parents were always like, let's watch Rudolph, people. And I remember specifically watching Rudolph as a kid because as a very little kid, I was terrified of the Bumble. I would hide behind the couch
Oh,
until he had his
yeah.
choppers taken out, and then he was the nice Bumble. I was afraid of him when he was the mean Bumble. And like I said, I would hide behind the couch. So I remember watching that, and that's probably because back in my day, before streaming, you had to catch them on the right night on CBS, NBC, or ABC, depending on who owned the rights that year, and we liked it. Look, everybody, an old man is talking.
No, I'm saying preach on, because like Frosty the Snowman is probably mine for that same reason. Like, it would have been the same time I would have seen that. I would have seen Rudolph. I'd have seen all of that stuff because my parents loved that stuff, and so we had it on and watched it. I distinctly remember us going to see A Christmas Story in theaters together as a family, though.
Oh wow!
And
That's
so
cool.
I remember just being blown away by that, again, because 1983 when that came out, I think I was still pretty young, and so it affected me in a lot of ways. And years later, I got to see a production of it where they had a guy who had a really good voice. He didn't sound like Gene Shepard, who had a great voice. He narrates the movie if you haven't seen it, but he wrote all this stuff. Who is off stage reading all this stuff while people are like acting out vignettes. It's like a community theater thing. It was so good, but it's so touching too, because there's some real heart in that movie that still gets to me. So it's run in the ground now because the 24-hour marathon and that stuff. So for years I have avoided it, but I think last year it came on and we just sat and watched it because it had been a long time since I just sat and sort of lived with it. And I was like, you know what, this is really good. And then a few years ago, that Peter Billingsley and that whole crew got back together and like did like the official sequel to it. I know there's another one that's kind of a sequel, but it's pretty good. It's cute. So I've got a TV show I guarantee none of you grew up saw, and I knew it had Christmas stuff in it. It was a Canadian series called Today's Specials. Anybody remember this?
I do. Yeah.
That's not the Skidamarinky Dinky Dink people.
No, that's Sherry Lois.
No, that was Sharon Lois and Bram.
Yeah. Okay. Today's Special was these mannequins would come to life after they shut the department store down, and had like a whole thing.
That's cool.
I remember watching reruns of Today's Special. They showed it on the USA Network, which was, for whatever reason, the one I watched when everybody else was watching Nickelodeon or Mr. Rogers or some shit. I was watching Cartoon Express.
Yeah, Cartoon Express on USA. Yeah, 100%. So, but they did a lot of Christmassy stuff on that one.
Whatever cheap knockoff cartoons they could afford.
GoBots was on that probably.
No, they did have. Was that the one where Gary Gnu did the news?
It might have been.
Today's Special.
Yeah, it might have been. I can't remember all of it.
News.
I can't remember all of it. I just remember it just making a real impression on me as a kid for some reason, and especially when they would decorate the store for Christmas, because we'd see that, like, I grew up in a time when there were malls and people decorated them and it was beautiful. And you actually went out to see the decorations of the stores. Like there's that scene in Christmas Store where like they do that, in the opening of it. And even though we didn't get a lot of snow where I grew up, people did go all out and decorate. And like we used to ride around and look at Christmas lights in people's neighborhoods.
Do that too.
You're not still. I was like, we still do that.
Yeah. There's some really nice ones around here where you see it. So,
Our trip to New York that we did several years ago, pre-Mave, was wonderful because we did the thing where we came out on 42nd Street and went down in front of the Macy's and saw the windows. And if you follow that path, it leads you to the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. So you start at a certain point and you basically walk from the subway stop all the way down the street for like 4 blocks or whatever, and then there's the Rockefeller Center tree. It's amazing.
Oh man,
it's a fabulous like Christmas thing to do. It's beautiful.
That does sound like something to be fun to do. So,
and then after that, we were all really like deep fried and people, because it's me, Holly, and our friend Katie, and none of us like big crowds or people.
Yeah.
So after that, it was like, well, let's go find the quietest place we can to have like soup and a drink.
Yeah.
And we found a little Russian restaurant in the theater district that was incredible. It's not there anymore, but yeah, it was borscht and pelmeni and big imperial stouts. And
yes, very good.
Just the brown bread and a pickle tray. It was awesome.
That sounds great.
That is awesome. So, well, y'all, it has been a blast talking about these different things and sort of reminiscing with y'all tonight. It's always fun as we kind of wrap up the year here on Film Strip to do one of these type of things. And so appreciate everybody coming on. Matt, tell folks how they can follow you and everything you got going on, man.
Don't follow me. I don't want to talk to you. Yeah. You can listen to me over on the Two Broke Geeks podcast. It's been pretty intermittent this year because my co-host Justin and I have pretty opposing work schedules. So it's been a pretty difficult year for getting episodes out on the regular. I work a lot of days. He works a lot of nights. It hasn't worked out very well. But we're still putting episodes out. So you can find me over at the Two Broke Geeks podcast. And yeah. That's what I've got going on. That's where you can find me most of the time.
And also tell folks, since you are the published author of this podcast.
Yeah, buy my book. Buy my book. This is a Christmas episode, and my book is a Christmas book. Buy my book. It is Santa in his own words by Santa Claus with help from Matt Spaulding. You can find that on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
Absolutely fantastic.
I'm very bad about promoting my own book. It feels like such a weird fraud thing to do. So every time I have an opportunity to bring it up, I tend to forget because I'm like,
yeah, but it's not because you actually
I know
did
it's not. I know,
Yeah.
I know, but that's just it's part of being me.
Fair. Fair enough.
But it's so cool because we know a published author.
Yes,
I know,
thank
right?
you. Yes.
It's like so cool. So
Yeah.
I used to be the published author on this podcast. Now it's Matt's turn.
Now it's currently me, I guess. Yeah.
You're still the chief writer in Film Strip Inc.
Well, yeah, but AI killed all my publishing opportunities. So.
Sadly, yeah. So, yeah, well, as we know, but that's another day here on Donahue when we get into dystopian March or whatever we're going to talk about. So, speaking of which, we have lots of fun stuff planned going into next year. So, you can find all of that wherever you find your podcast. Just look for Film Strip Podcast. 15 plus years of episodes out there. Some like this, some session shows where we're just generally, talking about a topic, or most of the time it's us taking a movie and have a lot of fun with it. And you can follow us on social media at Film Strip Pod. We share announcements about upcoming shows, other fun content, and now you can go to our Letterboxd page because it has every movie we've ever reviewed there with links to where you can listen to it. So if you want a quick one, you won't find the session shows there, obviously, but you'll find all the movies we reviewed there in the day. And don't worry if it says there's spoiler content. I don't know how to turn that off because that just means if you click the link, we're probably going to tell you what the movie's about. But give that a look. And hey, leave us a positive review as well. It helps other people find the podcast. Share it with your friends, and also it helps us make you feel good about ourselves. It's the holidays. We all want to do that, right? So until next time, for Ron, Lindsey, and our good friend Matt, the published author and Santa expert himself, I am Jay. Thank you for listening to Film Strips.
Thank you for listening to Film Strip. You can find more episodes on our website, filmstrippodcast.com. The Film Strip theme music is produced and performed by Frozen Lake 121. All content used or discussed in these podcast episodes is the property of the respective owners and used under the Fair Use Act, Section 504, C2, Title 17.